Bants and Bants. Bants and Bants.
All systems go.
Bants and Bants.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bants and Bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome, everyone, to the 69th live edition of Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. As always, I'm
It's 68.
Well, 69 is better. As always,
Nice.
I am your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, age 14, coming to you from an undisclosed location hidden deep beneath the surface of the earth. With me, as always, is Mark.
Hey, how's it going?
And the missus.
Hello.
You know, I have got to say, number one, the missus, you're feeling much better, right?
I am finally. Yeah. I might
So
not
you
sound completely better, but I'm feeling a lot better. So.
You sound a lot like Kim Carnes. Are
Thank
you sure
you.
you don't have Betty Davis eyes?
Yeah, I might. I just might.
All right. Well, it is nice that you're feeling better. That is an exceptional thing. We already have people watching this, so life is good there. Mark, how was your week?
That was fine. Nothing special, but not bad.
See, you need to come up with something that you fought a snake, you killed a giraffe, I don't know, were not arrested for killing a bunch of people in
Here,
Idaho.
wait. I've got this covered. I've got this covered for Mark.
Okay.
It's just going to be a total shit show, I think.
Oh, glorious. Well.
Okay, Mark, tell us about your snake wrestling.
Oh no! I provoked a fight between my cats tonight. I turned YouTube onto a video for cats, so it's like 8 hours of birds chirping and jumping around and squirrels and stuff. And one of the cats jumped up to watch closer in front of the TV, and the other cat, as soon as it saw a squirrel on there, it suddenly leaped. Squirrel! Hit the TV stand. Didn't quite make it up there. Startled the other cat, which turned around and started hissing. And then then the two of them started like scrambling around, knocking game controllers off the TV stand, and just generally hissing and arching their backs and puffing up. It was a lot of fun.
So
It is always fun when you can get your cats to grouse at each other.
So I about 3 nights a week. Well, okay, exactly 3 nights a week. I got into the hot tub and I take a cigar of enormous proportions. Mark Twain once said, he said, "I've gotten down, so I only smoke one cigar a day, but it's the size of a crutch." And so, so I was outside, walked outside with my cigar, sat in the hot tub, and watched some videos about some topical things like the French Revolution. And anyway, so our inside cat, we have multiple cats. We have our inside cat, PJ, who is best cat. And PJ followed me out the door. Lo and behold, PJ decided she laid in wait because we have an outdoor cat who is just an awful cat. Just a horrible cat.
He's a good outdoor cat. He cannot be in the house. Yes.
Yeah. So
He's the backdoor cat.
What the outdoor cat does is
He's the backdoor cat because we have front door cats too.
Yeah. Okay, this is not a Led Zeppelin song. So anyway, the cat will come down and it will try to make its way in through the back door because sometimes it doesn't latch quite very well. And so what PJ did, she laid in the shadows waiting for the cat to come down to the door and just attacked it bonsai, ran up the stairs to the deck. I mean, it was hilarious. Okay, I guess you had to be there. Anyway.
No, it is funny because all the cats pick on the backdoor cat. When they get fed in the evening, the big front door cat, because we have big cat, little cat who hang out at the front door. The big cat will eat his food. Yeah, the big bottle cat will go around to the back of the house and then beat the backdoor cat up to eat his food too.
Well, no wonder why the backdoor cat's small.
It's not skull. No, okay. All right, let's just go to the first story. If I can't say actual words, I'm just going to. Anyway, those are cat stories, and we're sticking to them.
Okay.
Remember when President Trump?
President Trump?
President Trump.
Trump.
President Trump. Remember when President Trump was going to go to jail because he had top secret government files at Mar-a-Lago? The internet does. And here's what Joe Biden had to say about it while talking to Scott Pelley of 60 Minutes.
When you saw the photograph of the top secret documents laid out on the floor at Mar-a-Lago, what did you think to yourself, looking at that image?
How that could possibly happen, how anyone could be that irresponsible. And I thought, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods? By that I mean names of people who helped, or et cetera. And it's just totally irresponsible.
Yeah, about that. Guess what has been discovered in Biden's vice presidential lair? Kept in a box, in a closet. It wasn't like in some storage bin. Regardless, the Newsbot has the scoop. Can't hear the Newsbot. I can't hear you either.
Sorry, something moved. The jackass clothes moved for some reason.
All right, so if you're playing your home version,
Ah,
every time we talk about
why did this
technical
do
difficulties,
this?
you're required to take 2 shots.
That's right. That's
Two
right.
shots for our home players.
That's right. Okay, I have the right one now. Okay, go ahead and lead me back into that.
About that, guess what has been discovered in Vice Presidential Biden's closet papers? Kept in a box in the closet. The Newsbot has the scoop.
Among the items from Joe Biden's time as vice president discovered in a private office last fall are 10 classified documents including U.S. intelligence memos and briefing materials that covered topics including Ukraine, Iran, and the United Kingdom, according to a source familiar with the matter. Attorney General Merrick Garland has received a preliminary report on the documents' inquiry, a law enforcement source said, and now faces the critical decision on how to proceed, including whether to open a full-blown criminal investigation. The documents were dated between 2013 and 2016, according to the source familiar. They were found in 3 or 4 boxes, also containing unclassified papers that fall under the Presidential Records A.
Ta-da!
So you heard what the Newsbot said there at the end. I just have to do this aside for just 1 minute. The Newsbot said there at the end about the Presidential A. Should be Presidential Act, right? But sometimes the Newsbot hits its limit and it just says the letters. For example, in that same clip where it said a full-blown investigation, here's what it actually said at the end of that.
A full BL.
It's a full BL.
A full BL.
Okay, back to Biden.
A full BLT.
Yes.
Well, I was going to mention, and then I saw later this afternoon, and it was just a breaking news thing, so I didn't have any detail, but that they'd found more documents at a different location
yes, they did.
That
Breaking
Biden
news.
had. So
Breaking news. We have a sounder. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
Apparently presidential records and confidential documents are only dangerous when the little people have them. So just, But speaking of little people, we have a man on the street segment. Our crack team of researchers and statisticians have gone through and they have talked to people on the street.
Oh, crap. Hang on just a second. I got all the bits loaded except for the very first one, so let me do that real quick.
Well, you don't have to go in order. Or do that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, they have to go in order. So, did I mention to you about our cats? Because, they're cats and... have you ever seen me tap dance? It goes... Oh...
this is audio only. We can't see you.
It's the theater of the mind.
You could be tapping.
Hi, folks. The missus here.
Okay. Well,
Bombs and Bants has decided to hit the streets this week. Okay. Sorry. It's ready now. Okay. Leave it in again. See, here I am living up to my New Year's resolution of never, ever being prepared.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah,
2 more shots.
being prepared.
Two more shots. Yeah. 2 more shots, everybody. and it better be tequila or better.
I don't know about that. I don't know if they'll make it to the end of the podcast.
Our team of crack investigators, yes, have gone through and they have talked to the people on the street to get their real opinions. Take it away, people on the street.
Hi, folks. The missus here. Bombs and Bants has decided to hit the streets this week and get a real feel for the pulse of American politics. Since Mayberry here is a really small town, we've headed to the big city of Mount Pilot to ask average Janes and Joes on the street what they think of their country and its politicians. To be fair, we've tried to find both conservatives and liberals. So come on, let's see what people think. Hi, do you mind if answering a few questions for Bombs and Bants?
Sure.
I guess so.
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Great. Okay then, first question. Do you follow politics?
Sometimes.
MAGA! I argue with people at Thanksgiving. Does that count?
I am a member of the Resistance.
Okay. And next question. What's your party affiliation?
Republican.
Oh, I'll probably say I'm an independent. Conservative libertarian-ish.
I am a member of the Resistance.
Just gonna answer all together, are you? That's strange. Next question. Did you vote in the 2022 midterms?
No.
Midterms? Like what? On a Wednesday? Yes, I did a write-in for Ron Paul. It was in Klingon, though.
Voting is a sacred duty in our democracy.
We'll be back with more questions and answers later in the podcast. For Bombs and Bants, I'm the missus signing off.
All right. That's number one.
That's number one. One down, two to go.
One down. Oh, wait, that's a song from the 70s. So I don't want to get too topical. Let's stick to the 50s. In COVID news, the new travel testing or whatever it is went into effect last week for travelers coming into the United States from China based on the huge new wave of some, the next panic variant in that country. However, nobody, not even the World Health Organization, thinks China's being honest about their infection rate. Fox News contributor Dr. Mark Siegel says this alone should be enough for a complete travel ban for China.
I'm asking for an actual travel ban from travelers from China right now, temporarily, until we figure out exactly what is going on there. We don't know what variants are coming out of China. We don't know how many people are getting sick. Nobody's going to give us that information. We know that the BF.7 subvariant is predominant there. It's rare here. And Rich, we don't know if our vaccines cover that. We don't know how immunoevasive that subvariant actually is. So we don't have enough information, and they are not going to give it to us.
I got to tell you, this man sounds like he's got a couple of mooks. And, if you try to cross the travel ban, he's going to maybe break your legs and maybe try to adjust your attitude. You know what Paulie would say about that. God.
Well, he made the same point I did when, I don't know if it was Biden or Trump who did this, but they have the travel restrictions. They're going to start on this date. So like for this, it was January 5th or 6th, whatever last Friday was, right? And this guy said, if it's such a big deal, why doesn't it start immediately?
Well, okay.
And I have always had that question too. If this is so destructive and we don't want this in our country, why are we waiting a week or two until we start either testing people or doing the travel ban? Why don't we start immediately?
If only Nancy Pelosi were still speaker, then she could go tell us to hug a bunch of Chinese people. Mark, should you hug Chinese people? Or would Mrs. Mark be upset about that?
Well, she probably would be upset about it. And no, you shouldn't hug Chinese people unless you're married to one.
That is very, very good. Very good idea.
Shuck it, duck it now.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I actually have a related news story because we're talking about the unspecified disease of unspecified origin from CNN.
Is this breaking news?
Yes.
Breaking news.
So the FDA is disappointed and upset, and that's a quote, that early that the early disease of unspecified origin booster data wasn't shared. Okay. So now, apparently in the news, people are saying maybe that some of the companies that made the boosters and vaccines are maybe lying.
No, I've heard that's impossible. There's no way the government or any of these companies would be lying to us.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I represent science.
Right?
Yes.
If you're attacking Pfizer with a P, you're attacking science. Because like Anthony Fauci,
I represent science.
They represent science.
Yes. Oh, Mark. Pfizer. Good, bad, or the Antichrist?
Oh, I don't think they're the Antichrist. And I don't think they're good. I'll leave it at that.
Well, and we also know that Jeff Beck isn't the Antichrist unless he comes back to life, because Jeff Beck has just died of suddenly. Do you have a clip for me, or just?
I don't have a clip for you on that. No, I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, but Jeff Beck, of course, famous for the 1996 song "I'm a Loser, Baby." Okay,
Wrong
I'm kidding.
Wrong back.
Yeah, he was a guitarist. Train kept rolling.
He's like the guy. Yeah, everyone knows, but nobody knows his name, right?
Well, there's a lot of people dying of suddenly.
Mm-hmm. Yes, suddenly is a thing. So that's our unspecified disease.
It's probably nothing to worry about.
Massive cannibalism. In the future.
Massive cannibalism.
News of the future. In the future, Skynet may be representing you in court. In the UK, which stands for Uniform Correct? No, United Kingdom.
Ugly Knickers.
The world's ugly knickers, which means something entirely different there. The world's first robot lawyer is set to make its debut. The Newsbot reports.
A robot lawyer is all set to defend a speeding ticket on its first day in court next month. In February, an artificial intelligence developed by Do Not Pay will advise a defendant during an entire court case, likely making it the first ever case defended by an AI. The AI will run on a smartphone, listening in to the proceedings of the courtroom before instructing the defendant on what to say via an earpiece, as reported by the New Scientist. The location of the court and the name of the defendant are being kept under wraps at the moment. In case the AI loses the case, Do Not Pay has agreed to cover any fines, according to the company's founder and CEO, Joshua Browder.
Browder's goal is to replace lawyers in high-cost, low-punishment cases that deal with fines and penalties in order to make the cost of legal representation more affordable for the average person.
Oh,
Mark,
and we also have this quote.
hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. Mark, I have a question for you. Does the AI have an advantage because it has more emotions and compassion than an actual human lawyer?
Probably does have an advantage in certain aspects. I mean, it can certainly access case law or statutory language quicker in a courtroom. But on the other hand, you might have it advising you to admit to that murder, and you're like, "What? Just say it." Okay, but this is just a traffic ticket. Say it.
Well, and you said, the statutory thing, but my lawyer told me that she had an ID that said that she was 18. So that's okay. Did I? Oh, wait. The missus, you had more.
I did. The AI lawyer actually pictured on the screen right now had this to say.
Hey, bite my glorious golden ass!
So there you go.
Mark, is that what they teach in law school?
Absolutely. Just kidding.
So we're talking about Jeff Beck, and I was thinking about Pat Travers. Boom, boom, echo the lights. But that would be different. Okay.
See, even you didn't get the right guy.
Police in Clovis, New Mexico, have arrested a man for leaving a rather unexpected package in front of the door of the New Mexico State Police building.
What is in the napkin?
Dog poop.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
He put dog poop on the door inside of a napkin.
Fun.
Police arrested Christian Cook for leaving the poo-poo platter. Cook claimed it had something to do with the 2020 incident in which he was cited for careless driving and given a psych evaluation after making suicidal statements during the 2020 incident. He made suicidal statements for getting a careless driving ticket. Prior to the dog poop incident, he called police dispatch multiple times.
14 times in 1 hour. Here's one of the calls.
State Police.
Hello.
Can I help you?
May I help you?
No.
No. You want to get your beat since you like beating up
Sir.
people with autism?
Hey,
Because
sir,
this
if you
whole
keep
time
harassing
it
my
works out
dispatchers,
where
hold
I
on a second, I'm talking.
Do you want to refuse?
And then it culminated with him actually making a threat when he called the state dispatch again. He says, "Hello, y'all like to treat people like dog S. You're going to get dog S, literally." And then followed through on that threat. He is a man who states what he's going to do, and then he does it.
He failed to do the most important part of the whole thing, which was to light the bag on fire.
Right, he did not do that. Oh, wait, we have another expert who needs to chime in on this particular story.
Fecal matter.
Thank you, Johnny. An expert in dog poop, as it were.
Well, that's not human. It's human. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I hope the stories don't get too crazy, and then we find out the stories are all Amber Heard.
There should be some sort of law that every time society gets bored, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have to go to court and testify.
Well, hopefully the guy that left the dog fecal matter will be represented by an AI attorney.
There you go. See? And then that's how the death sentence became
bite my
reinstated.
glorious golden ass!
The full
the death sentence became reinstated for minor practical jokes. All right. I'm going to deviate from the menu from page 2, the missus. Okay. There's a new Speaker of the House. It's what's his name. This is the most balanced since 1859, and we all know what happened in 1860.
What?
Everyone went on vacation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your mother was born.
I'm on vacation.
So, all's well that ends well.
I'm on vacation.
Also, in news, and this is not so much breaking news, but the University of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, for those that aren't familiar with it, is in Eastern Europe. It's somewhere next to Transylvania. Can't really explain why 3 million Chinese dollars ended up in their bank. But Mrs., I think you have a little bit more on this one.
Do I have a little bit more on that one?
Wasn't it related to some sort of Biden thing?
It was. I don't think I had anything more on that.
So
I mean, we have the Jackass of the Week, but that's for something totally different.
But no, I brought it up and you said, "Oh yeah, that's related to." And okay. All right. I have to move to another news flash. Breaking news.
Oh wait, breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Week 48. Russia is still invading the Ukraine. Leonardo DiCaprio, age 47, is really going out of his way to help support the Ukraine. He's even taking in a Ukrainian refugee. Her name is Maria Beregova. She's 22. Apparently, he got rid of his previous live-in because she aged out at age 25. So, Mark, what are the odds that either you or I could take in Ukrainian refugees with the big hearts like Leonardo DiCaprio did? Mark,
well,
refusing to answer that question.
Well, I mean, we probably
it's just
could,
going to be a
but,
total
you
shit
know,
show, I think.
We probably could, but it'd be the Ukrainian equivalent of Bubba.
Well, here's the really funny thing: is almost all of the armaments on both sides of the Ukraine war are older by a decade than Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriend. I'm not kidding. Oh, Leo. But we have man on the streets, don't we?
We do have man on the streets. Are you ready for that?
This is segment 2 of Man on the Street, and this is the interviews trying to understand the biases in American politics. Go.
Hi again, it's the missus. We're out here on the streets of the big city of Mount Pilot asking average people what they think of politics in the U.S. To be fair, we've asked the same questions of both conservatives and liberals. Let's see what they think. All right, here's another question for you. Do you think the country is headed in the right direction?
No. Do you have any idea what my truck costs?
No way, man. A Big Mac costs $65. Hell no. Taxation is theft.
No, Trump has ruined everything.
Alrighty then. Let me ask you this then. Which party do you think does the best job of handling the economy?
Well, there was this one Austrian.
Trump! Yeah. Ron Paul.
The Soviets. I mean, Democrats.
We'll be back with more questions and answers later in the podcast. For Bombs and Bants, I'm the missus signing off.
The missus. Our man on the street. We are part of the resistance.
Yes.
So we shall we go to the brain jackass of the week, or should we keep going with our Think Real Fast segment?
We haven't even done our Think Real Fast segment because
we've been doing it this whole time.
Because we have this.
Think Real Fast.
Oh, darn it. Okay. Well, let's go to our brain jackass of the week. We'll do our last man on the street segment, and then we'll go to the remainder of our Think Real Fast segment.
This is Neil Young.
Hey, get that jackass out of here!
And I'm proud to present my brain jackass of the week.
Normally we have 2 people who are in the running for brain jackass of the week. But this week, really, there's only one.
President Biden finally made... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me restate that. Resident Biden finally made a trip to the border this week, and it's about time. Now, maybe he can get to those Republicans to take the border mess seriously.
I will visit the border myself this Sunday in El Paso to assess border enforcement operations, meet with the local officials and community leaders and the folks at the border sending me what they need that they don't have, and make it public what they conclude they need they don't have, to try to convince my Republican colleagues they should do something.
If only those stupid Republicans would get on board to do something about their border.
Mark, is he the jackass of the year so far?
Definitely.
Oh, if only those Republicans would do something about the border. All right.
Well, he's also committed to make sure that it's easier for the immigrants to reach the United States, so they don't have to go through nasty jungles or anything.
So, it's wonderful that everyone in the world is an American citizen. It just amazing that it ended up that way. The missus,
yes,
I believe it's unanimous. Joe Biden, resident of the White House, is the jackass of the week.
And this has been Neil Young's Brain Jackass of the Week.
All right. I guess that gives us the final Man on the Street segment.
See, the reason I put these in order is so I don't have to jump back and forth and scroll up and down in my program here.
It's actually
and you've screwed it all up.
No, I didn't. I can show you the paper. You even typed it. This is Man on the Street segment 2, Jackass of the Week, and then Man on the Street segment 3.
But you get a paper that shows you what's coming up.
Yes.
This is so unfair.
Well, I'm supposed to.
I try to tell him what we're going to talk about on a week-to-week basis and say, you should send an email to Mark to tell him what we're going to talk about. I guess he just doesn't spend enough time on the internet that he can send you an email.
So do you have it?
I do.
I mean, this is 3 technical difficulties. That's 6 shots.
This is not a technical difficulty
no one
at
can
all.
drive.
It's
No,
just
yes, it
that
is.
you continue talking.
Shut up! And if we argue, that's 3 shots. So you're making these people have a problem. You should feel bad about yourself.
They're listening to our podcast. They already have a problem. All right, here we go. Hi, everyone. The missus again. I'm still out here on the mean streets of Mount Pilot, getting the real answers about politics from real people, and sometimes paying the price for it. I think I ripped my pants. Anyway, let's see what real conservatives and liberals think about the issues. Okay, how about this? Have you had difficulty paying your bills in the last year?
Yes. I lost my job at the Dairy Queen.
No, I mean, I still have my Bitcoin. What? What do you mean, they're worth what? I don't know, the basement is pretty comfy at my mom's house.
No, Daddy takes care of that. That capitalist pig.
Wow. You people are just... Anyway, let's move on. And finally, what was the most important issue for you in the last election?
I'd have to say the economy.
Yeah, and if I thought about it, I'd probably have to say the economy. I suppose if I really thought about it, I'd probably have to say the economy.
Abortion for gay Ukrainians.
Abortions for gay Okay, whatever. Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining me today. Your answers have been very illuminating, especially for you liberals. Weirdos. Well, thanks, folks. It's been really an eye-opener talking to all these liberals and conservatives here on the streets of Mount Pilot today. I hope you and the Bombs and Bants audience have learned a little something. I know I sure have. Like bring an umbrella anytime you're interviewing people in public. Sheesh. The missus for Bombs and Bants signing off.
So did you see Barney up there taking his date to Mountain Pilot's movie picture show?
I did, but things have changed in Mount Pilot. I mean, it's the big city now. So, they were both wearing dresses.
Oh my! So up where you live, Mark, how do you get exposure to the liberal? I mean, do you just pass them around from group to group so that everyone gets a chance to taunt him, or her, or it?
Depending on the day.
No. Now, Boise's actually has a very large liberal population. I think I mentioned one time that actually there's one part of town I refer to it as Portlandia. That's how bad it is. So no, I just have to go to work.
Of course, the irony about Portlandia is they had to stop the show because Portland lost their sense of humor about them making fun of Portland. Did you ever watch the show, Mark?
For a little while, yeah.
Because they had the women in women bookstore. The Women in Women bookstore was a real feminist collective bookstore, and they got so mad that they finally kicked them out because they were being made fun of. I don't think we're leaving, are we?
Sorry, I was looking for something, and every time I hit a P,
apparently
it
every
triggers.
time I talk,
yeah.
Every time I talk, you get so bored. You're like, "Oh my god,
exactly.
end this." So, time for Think Real Fast.
No, I was looking for some Portlandia stuff.
Shivers.
Hi, I'm Lisa Eversman,
And we put birds on things. Today we're gonna go to a store on Mississippi Avenue. Nothing has birds on it, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put birds on things.
Spruce it up, make it pretty.
Thank you. Put a bird on it.
So there you go. There's put a bird on it.
Oh yes, I missed that show. I enjoyed that one a lot. Because those
You
were
know,
left.
it's funny. It's funny that you have that because I have this magical ability to put a bird on my hand anytime I want.
I think they mean put a bird, not flip a bird.
Man, I could put a bird on my hand 20 times at least driving to work or back.
You know what? I don't pass that many cars on the way to work, so life is easy for me. So the New York Times, that bastion of journalistic integrity, said in an article that Tucker Carlson provided the most racist media ever, and I guess they don't read the New York Times. Just that's my note. But related, Girl Scouts Canada has termed the name brownies, which was previously given to the youngest Girl Scouts who wore a brown smock. The term brownies is now offensive. Mark, should they be called snickerdoodles? What are we doing here, Mark?
I don't know. Just don't put them. Don't tell them they're in a field of endeavor. That would really freak them out.
The missus?
Yes. Are you asking me to comment on this particular story?
Yes.
Ain't nobody got time for that. No, what is not offensive?
You could call them Thin Mints, but I suppose that would probably offend all the fat ones.
I read an article. Okay, you this isn't part of the articles that I had listed, but this was an article that indicated, and it was from a fat positive person, that people were so fat because they were meant to have good hydrodynamics while swimming because we were descended from aquatic apes.
The clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
Yeah. Going. Okay. Oh, breaking news.
Oh.
Yep.
Breaking news.
Prince Harry said something again. I'm just going to cringe for everyone.
I saw a very funny Prince Harry meme.
What?
Tara Brate notes. I'm going to go back to the Girl Scouts Canada. There are no more field trips because, and the missus and I talked about exactly that. You can't use the word field trips or to be out in the field anymore because apparently that's racist because apparently only people of color ever farmed, which might just surprise most of the ancestors I've ever had on the planet. The missus.
The full BL.
It's the full BL.
Do you have any farmers in your background?
No farmers at all.
You just own one. Mark?
I don't own a farmer. How dare you?
No, my ancestors were so privileged that they could just snap their fingers and food would magically appear in front of them.
Okay. Yeah, so you can't say field trips anymore. And speaking of things that you can't do anymore, the EPA is apparently planning to ban gas stoves because I'm going to spin the wheel. Asthma in kids. We can give puberty blockers to preteens, but we can't boil water over gas stove. I'm thinking of that as evolution in action. Good thing or bad thing, Mark?
What, evolution in action or banning stoves?
You pick your own.
Evolution in action is wonderful. It's perfect. It's entertaining, and it gives us the wonderful Darwin Awards.
And by the way, the Wall Street Journal has this in their politics section today. Gas stoves don't face a ban from the Biden administration. Comments earlier this week by a Consumer Product Safety Commission commissioner had sparked criticism on Capitol Hill. The chairman of U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission said Wednesday that the agency isn't seeking to ban gas stoves, but is instead looking for ways to make them safer. Which I don't know if that includes banning them or not. But right now,
Well,
they've bought themselves a little time.
Includes
AOC,
removing the
said
gas
that it
from them.
reduced.
Right.
AOC said it reduced your intellectual capabilities or capacities.
Wow, she throws those softballs over the plate. I'm just going to stop right there. But
See, and then we have this too. In the face of criticism from lawmakers, Mr. Trumka, who apparently is the commissioner, tweeted that the CPSC isn't coming for anyone's gas stoves. And I think that we all hear that same line whenever they talk about gun control. So I think we know the truth of what's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
But do you have a panic sounder? Something that says panic?
Panic sounder?
Yeah, something which indicate massive cannibalism. I don't know.
Massive cannibalism.
Yes, I have that.
Yes, there's massive cannibalism because panic, everyone. It's raining in California. Yep, it rains in California.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
They want to live in a mall. It's the California Mall. So welcome to the Mall of California.
That's probably nothing.
Yeah. So Mark, tent cities, is that an aesthetic that should be imported to Boise?
You know, they tried it several years ago, and you know, no one cared. so it's gone.
Yeah, I watch often Mark Robker. He's a YouTuber. He's the guy who puts those glitter bombs together and leaves them for the porch pirates.
Right.
Are you familiar with those, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, like, you know, a zillion people, literally tens of millions of people have seen these videos. So he's in San Francisco, and he left packages in the back of cars for people to steal with his glitter bombs and, you know, the fart spray. And I just went and I thought, people in California are leaving their trunks open to prove to thieves that there's nothing in their car, so they just don't steal everything in the car. So I'm thinking, how is this different than the worst dystopia I could have imagined when I was 10? What do you think, the missus?
Well, you know, that actually happened to me one time. This is quite a while ago. And I was in California, and I had parked my car on the street, and I had a banjo in my car, and I left it in the back seat of my car. And as I walked away, I was like, oh my God, I think I might have left the car unlocked. So I hurried back as fast as I could back to my car. And sure enough, by the time I got there, 2 banjos in the back seat.
All right. That's a good one. Only half the women under the age of 45 in the U.S. have children. I am really concerned because I'm really pleased because I think of all the PowerPoints that were made instead of those children. Mark, do you think the future of the United States rests in the hands of the PowerPoints those women made?
No, but I mean, I'm sure it serves a useful task somewhere. Do you know the more interesting thing to me about that was that the percentage of men that had children was even lower.
Yes, it is because because there are a certain number of men that are having a lot of children with multiple women.
Yep. Yeah, it's the beginning of idiocracy.
It is. I was reading. I read a story about
the full BL.
It's the full BL.
It's full BL. I won't tell you about the next story I was reading, but let's move along. Some trans people are thinking about moving out of the country to request asylum, according to Vice News. Mark, why can't they just identify as Canadian?
Well, you don't want them to just identify. They need to actually move.
So you want all the trans people to move out? What about the vibrancy of culture that they provide?
Do they?
Oh, there's so many jokes I've got there. The missus, what are your thoughts about trans people moving behind the rainbow curtain?
You're not my supervisor!
You know, really what
Have
they
fun.
need to do, what they really need to do is move to countries like Saudi Arabia and Iran, because they don't have enough transvestite people there, and I think that those countries would really benefit from the diversity and the artistry and so forth that would accompany those people when they go there.
Tara Brayton they should probably move to that the neighbor of Pennsylvania, Transylvania. All right, and the last thing real fast that we have for the night: the poorest 20% of Americans are richer than most European nations. The missus. Who do you think would win in a 40-meter dash?
Cumulatively, or one at a time?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I would have to give it to the poor Americans, because even though we tend to be on the chubby side, we still move faster than continents do.
Mark?
I agree.
You're wrong. Well, actually, you're both right. The Americans would win, but it's because of cars. We all have cars. Or rascal scooters, in the case of Americans. All right. Any parting thoughts? Any parting wisdom that you have, the missus, for our studio audience?
I didn't have wisdom to begin with.
Mark?
I agree.
I agree that she didn't have wisdom either. Boy, we're being mean to you, the missus. On that note...
I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
On that note, thank you, everyone, for coming once again.
You know what AI lawyer would say about that?
Hey,
what?
Bite my glorious golden ass!
Thank you, everyone, once again, for coming into Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. We'll be back next week with even better humor. Okay, I'm lying.
That's a tall order.
We'll be back. So, thanks for coming. I'm John.
I'm Mark.
And I'm the missus. Y'all come back now, you hear?
I'm disappointed.